If you have been having mental blocks in your business, you're not sure where steps to take, or you just need some help figuring something out, then I have a treat for you today. Today, I am joined by my good friend, Arron Chambers. He is the lead pastor at Journey Christian Church, but he also wants to help businesses grow. He has a big heart for helping people, and helping people in the church is great, but you can also expand the reach by helping business leaders and what it's like to kind of have a walk of faith as you're in business. It's sometimes that can get convoluted. So I have invited him on the show with me today. Arron, thank you so much for being here.
Oh, Clint, man, thanks for having me. It's an honor.
Yeah, absolutely. So I kind of want to get into the start of why, I kind of teased into it. But like, why'd you get into the coaching? I mean, obviously you're helping a lot of people, but you've taken this step into gathering more and helping outside of just the local Greeley community at Journey Christian Church.
Yeah.
You're actually nationally helping coach other businesses and entrepreneurs.
Yeah, absolutely. So go back a little bit. I believe that we are God's workmanship created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which he prepared in advance for us to do. And I think one of the good works he has prepared me to do is to have a foot in the business world, in the professional world. And that's looked like a lot of things over the past 25 years. We currently own 3 businesses. I've been a coach at Frontier Academy for 9 years, coaching cross country and track. I retired from that, and I've always had a foot in the business world, and that looked like for about 25 years, doing coaching with individuals, with businesses, in relationships. And so what has happened recently is I've gotten more intentional with that. And I'm now a part of a coaching firm called Novus Global. And we work with some of the top companies in the world, some of the top sports teams in the world. One of our clients that we can talk about is Netflix. But pretty much every team, professional team you can think of, we've worked with them or will be working with them or working with their athletes. And in the top companies, Rockefeller Group. And I just finished this past week working with a professional sports league, and it's fun. It's meaningful work. But for me, Clint, being a believer, it's an opportunity to use the gifts God gave me beyond the sanctity of the church space and to create other sacred spaces where I can take the principles that I use as a pastor, that I live as a pastor, the values that I live as a pastor, and walk those in appropriately to the business world.
Okay. So you mentioned you get to work on like a national scale, which is fantastic because now the position that you're taking is a lot different than some other like you are helping essentially spread the word of God, and you're helping business and entrepreneurs and sports teams. And just kind of helping infiltrate that. What has that experience been like for you to kind of take that, like that pastor background that you have, and then be able to start spreading it out more into these, I guess you could say, more secular side. Some people might say secular side of things.
Of course, yeah. The companies we work with aren't Christian companies. And the company I work with is not a Christian company. It just has a lot of Christians in it. I'll give you an example. This week, working with a group talking about language and the power of words. And but we could say, hey, in a book called Proverbs, it talks about your tongue having the power of life and death. We can say things like that. So yeah, it's been an interesting thing an interesting experience to see how the principles that we find in God's word translate so easily into every aspect of life. And so as a coach working in with non-Christian companies, secular space, it's been really amazing to see the opportunities I have to bring up scripture, to bring God's eternal principles into play in their work environment, to help them identify solutions to problems. And that solution just happens to be a timeless principle that we find in God's word.
So kind of touching on the coaching side of things, why would someone hire a coach? Right? When should they hire a coach? Right? Like, and if they're like, holy smokes, we have a massive dumpster fire, is it too late to hire a coach at that point?
No. The approach that we take with Novus Global is inquisitive. We ask a lot of questions. We don't come in as consultants. We actually don't call ourselves consultants. We call ourselves coaches, and we're definitely not counselors or therapists either. But the approach that we take will help them no matter what stage they're at, whether they are launching a business, whether they're trying to navigate important transitions in regards to growth, or whether they're maybe winding down, transitioning out. One of my clients is a influencer who's building a business. One of my clients is looking at transitioning, how to finish well after a long time of service. I think who needs coaching? We all do. In fact, one of the cool things about being a part of Novus Global is that we can't be in the firm without being coached. We have to be coached every single, we have to constantly be under a coach. So they put us into teams, and every 6 months we switch teams. But right now I have a coach. He happened to be on the team with me this week, and we have to meet twice a month. And I coach somebody else, and I just coached her yesterday. So we believe in coaching. We believe everybody needs a coach. And honestly, here's the thing: like, there are different levels of performance. There's low performance, is like, I'll just do just enough to get through. There's regular performance, is like, I'm doing a good job. There's high performance, I'm killing it. And what we do is we at the top of that pyramid, we flip it upside down, and we do meta performance coaching, which really comes from the word metamorphosis. And we believe anybody has within them opportunities for growth, opportunities to go further through that meta performance paradigm. And so, yeah, Clint, anybody, whether it's a startup or you're winding things down, I currently have 12 clients, and they're all over that spectrum. And they're all really identifying from where they are based on reality. And once they identify a clear meta performance vision, we identify gaps. What are the gaps? Because there's always gaps between the reality and the vision that thrills us, feels impossible, and needs to be measurable. That's our standard for a vision. It needs to be thrilling, it needs to feel impossible, and it needs to be measurable. So we're very big on metrics.
Okay. Yeah. And I love that you talk about like everyone needs coaching. I mean, you even think about like simplistically, you look at professional teams, right?
Yeah.
How many coaches do they have? They have the head coach, they have the assistant coach. Then if you're on the offensive side, you have your offensive coordinator, but then even the quarterback has his own, like, right there. There's so many levels of coaches, and these guys are professional athletes, and they are getting coached day in and day out. And that is so they can perform at their optimal level, because without a coach, you're just going to fall wayside. And you're one of the things that I always do remember is sharpening the saw.
Yeah.
Right. You're going to go through that daily grind of life, and you're going to get put down, and then you're going to get dull. And so if you don't have something there to keep sharpening, you're going to end up dull, and you're not going to be able to do your job effectively, whatever that is, whether you're a professional athlete or you're an entrepreneur, business leader, whatever.
Yeah. And then just to go with that, I love that illustration. To go with that, the way we would lean into that as coaches would be, what kind of saw? What are you using it for? How often are you going to sharpen it? What are you going to use to sharpen it? Like, we would start leaning into that vision. And so you're like, you know what? I'm going to use this kind of saw. I'm going to sharpen it this many times. And we're really big on commitments. So I say, okay, so you've agreed now you need to sharpen your saw. How many times are you going to sharpen it this week? And you're like, oh, a few times. No, give me a number. Okay. Will you commit to sharpening it 2 times by this date? I'm going to ask you about that. Okay. Yeah, I will. How many trees you want to cut down? I want to cut down. How many you want to cut down? 20? Okay, cool. Does that thrill you? Does it feel like it's within your, because our brains are made to keep us alive and play it safe. And so we have this intuitive fence like around our brain. So let's just play with us a little bit. So how many trees you want to cut down?
I want to cut down 10 trees.
10 trees. Okay. And that number thrills you.
Yeah.
Okay. What if it was 15?
A little bit.
What is 15?
15 would be, that would be, that'd be pushing the limits.
Okay. So then let's just go with that a little bit and be curious. What are some irresponsible ways you could identify 15 trees to cut down? And this is what we do. We just do this work because in this space that we're in, your vision is my boss.
Mhm.
And so I had the privilege of already working with companies in Greeley. I was with C3 Real Estate just last week. Amazing group of realtors and doing incredible work. But like working with them, I talked to a realtor like, hey, how many houses you want to sell this year? And he said 30. I was like, okay, yeah, that's a good number, right? And I found out that he had gotten close to selling 30 houses in 2025. I'm like, so really 30 is the number? And okay, so what would thrill you? We got to number 40. So 40 would thrill you. Does that feel impossible? It feels absolutely impossible. What would you do with that? Well, it would give me more finances and more freedom. What would you do with your freedom? He said, I would go on a trip. Where would you go? I got him sitting poolside at a very specific resort with the exact drink in his hand because I wanted it to be so real that he was intent and obsessed with getting to that. So with you and your work you're doing, because you're doing meaningful work around this community, Clint, like you are serving, I see you popping up at major events, you're doing production, you do all the whole thing. I've seen you at events producing videos and content. And so with you, it's like, okay, so what is that number of events? What is that perfect client? What is it for you that would thrill you? And what's cool about this work, Clint, is I'm not having to carry the weight. You're the resource. Your vision's my boss.
Yeah.
I'm just asking questions and I think it's a very God honoring thing. We believe as Christians that God is able to do immeasurably more than all we ask or imagine.
Mhm.
That there's a lot more in there, and we also believe that God has made us for a special purpose. So for me, it's fun as a pastor in this executive space, is helping clients to just release the things that are within them that I believe God put there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I love that you take that stance of like your vision is my boss
yeah,
because a lot of people, so that's kind of the difference between coaching and consulting. Consulting, they're going to come in and they're going to make a plan for you and
yeah,
you've got to follow that plan.
yeah,
Um and then it's still on you, but it may not align with what your vision, and so it can kind of contradict what you're trying to accomplish,
hmm
and instead of helping, it can also hinder. Whereas with the coaching aspect that you guys
yeah,
take, it's more of a, okay, we're kind of partnering alongside
hmm
you to get you to this goal because you can absolutely do this.
yeah,
And especially in an entrepreneur
yeah,
mindset, there are so many roadblocks. There are so many blind spots. There are so many things that can discourage us.
hmm
And then all of a sudden, we lose focus of where we were trying to get to.
hmm
And you come alongside and you're like, no, you were trying to get here.
yeah,
Let's remember you're trying to get here.
yeah,
And you start pushing off all the
yeah.
distractions essentially that they may be facing.
Yeah, and distractions can keep us from accomplishing the vision, which gets really frustrating when you feel like your wheel, that mouse wheel, what's it called? That wheel that a mouse is running on. When you're on that, it feels like I'm not going anywhere. So, like, what's the point? And it can really shut you down. But I think it's fun to be able to say, okay, what would it look like to get off the wheel? What
Hmm.
would it look like to? I had one client, and she's a fitness influencer, and she needed. We were going. It was December, and she's like, I really need more clients, but it's December and no one wants to hire a fitness coach in December. And I said, well, what if this is the best time for someone to hire a fitness coach? If that was the case, how would you present yourself? How would you market yourself? And she's like, I never thought about this. I've always thought that December is you can't get new clients. But I would do this. I would do this. And it was fun throughout December for her to text me. I got another client. She got 5 clients in December. And it was all in her. It's like what I've worked with you, Clint.
Hmm.
I've hired you to produce content, and it's like working with you. You come in, and yes, you have the tools, you have the cameras, you have all the fancy microphones, you have the ability to edit, but you always say, "Now, what is the purpose? Like, what do you want to accomplish with this clip?" And then I share that, and then you ask a lot of questions. Okay, well, what if we did this? What if we did this? Now, I understand you're an expert,
Yeah.
but you don't approach me. You don't come off as an expert. You let me. You create space, and this is what we do with our clients. You create space for me to dream and think, and say, what if we did this? You're like, what if we did that?
Yeah.
And it's always working with you is always a fun process because you release from me vision and ideas that I didn't realize were there. It's how often have you, when we're filming content, you understanding the vision, and with my vision kind of being the boss, you'll stop and say, wait a second, you said this. Is that what you wanted to say? Is that how you wanted to say it? I'm like, no, it's not. And so it's a fun process. We do the same thing. We create that space where our clients can dream and create and ultimately see a metamorphosis happen between what they thought was reality and what actually is a possibility.
Yeah. And that's what I love about the way that you guys take and handle coaching is you are allowing them to think, allowing them to dream, and allowing them to like, oh man, because we can be our worst critics. We can beat ourselves up
Hmm.
so much. And then just to kind of come in and it's like, oh, here's no, I am doing the right things, or
Hmm.
oh no, I've been doing this wrong. And like all of a sudden it's like a weight is lifted,
Hmm.
but it's not like you're like taking the weight and like putting it on yourself and like, okay, now here's what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
Right. It's just like, okay, how do we get from here to here? And so I love that.
Yeah.
I love that style of coaching. And I feel like a lot of people are in desperate need of that.
Hmm.
When you are looking at clients, is there like a process that you have to go through, like, or that they have to go through? They just like fill out a form. Like, how do they like get in contact with you? Like,
Yeah.
what does that look like?
At this point, it's been really fun to see that my pipeline essentially be word of mouth and relationships that have pivoted towards the coaching space. It's really, honestly, the principles we operate with, our core values at Novus Global are go live, growth, ownership, love, integrity, vision, and energy. So my ideal client is a client who wants to grow and who is willing to take ownership of uh, their life happening exactly the way they want it to happen. Their opportunities are exactly what you want want your opportunities to be. Love everything comes from a place of love, integrity, and vision and energy. And so, being a part of a firm, it's really fun because I'm not going alone. And so when I'm identifying opportunities or pursuing opportunities or having conversations we call vision calls, it's fun to be because I'm not selling myself. It's like, hey, what's your vision? And we tie into that vision and always are trying to like make it real. Like, okay, so Clint, what is the vision that if you saw me in 6 months at a 4th of July party, you pull me aside and say, dude, you this happened and I'm so excited. What is that? And we really flesh that out. And as we start to see clearly what that vision is, then it's like, well, um, what would it be worth to get to that vision? And I may be a good fit. I may not be. But what's cool about our situation, Clint, is I have coaches that are one of the guys that came into class with me came in the firm with me, played in the NBA for 11 years, was a general manager for a professional NBA team. I got former professional athletes, former CEOs. I got people who are really wired to do entry level coaching. We got
Hmm.
all kinds of tiers. So really, as far as the answer to your question, I like to have vision calls and just kind of hear what's going on in your life and what excites you, and based on that, see if we may be able to serve you. We are just really looking to partner with people who have a vision and who want to do meaningful work, and then come alongside them and help that meaningful work to happen. So yeah, it's been interesting. My pipeline has come a lot of through those relationships or just random conversations. One of my clients this morning, I met him on a ride from an airport to a speaking engagement, and we're having a lot of fun seeing his vision come to life. I don't know if that answers your question. I mean, if it's honestly I'm constantly. I think everybody's a potential client,
Yeah.
but not for me. Like I'm not like I got a full practice right now, so it's fun to be like, hey, this may be a good
Yeah.
fit, or hey, can I get on a call with you and one of our other coaches, see if they might be a really good fit. Honestly, what we're looking for at Novus Global is people who want to see a metamorphosis happen between their reality and their vision, and who believe that uh, impossible things can be possible.
Yeah. What would be that one piece of advice, right? I mean, there's a massive depth that goes into coaching. So obviously, you can't cover it all, and everybody's different. Everybody's circumstances are
Yeah.
different. But like that, what would be that surface level piece of advice for them to maybe they're struggling, maybe they're not struggling, but like take that next step, be able to take that next breath into their business.
Hmm.
What would be that one piece of advice that you would give them?
I'd say look at things as they are in terms of ownership, that your life is working exactly the way you want it to. And then make commitments around that. Like
Okay.
what, and we believe in very specific commitments. So for example, when I hear a complaint, which as you know, complaint just really hides latent vision.
Hmm.
When I hear a complaint and they say, well, let's play this game a little bit. So make a complaint that in your world might come out of your mouth.
Client is taking too long to get the corrections back for the edit. So then that way we can wrap up this project.
Okay, we're going to lean into that a little bit. So typically a complaint like that we follow with disempowered language, something like "it is what it is."
Hmm.
So give me that complaint again, and this is just we're just playing here. Give me that complaint again, and then follow it with "it is what it is."
Okay. So the complaint that we have is, the client takes forever
Mhm.
getting the corrections back to us, which kind of prolongs the edit and the project getting complete.
Mhm.
And so it is what it is.
Okay, how'd that feel?
Felt a little bit different, actually. Wow, that was kind of cool. Yeah, it just kind of felt like almost like a release of like, I don't know, like
Did it feel empowered or disempowered?
I felt empowering a little bit.
Okay.
So that was, oh yeah.
You think that felt empowering? Try this, okay? And this is a tool we use in our training. Give me that complaint again. I'm gonna give you a phrase to follow it with.
Yeah, we have customers that are taking forever getting the edits back to us. And so essentially it prolongs our completion date of the final project.
Okay, this is not going to feel good, but I want you, we're in a weight room. I want you to stay under the weight. Okay. Now say you said what you just said. Now follow it with, because that's exactly how I want it to be.
Oh man. Okay. So the client is taking forever to get us back the edits,
Mm-hmm.
and it's prolonging the completion because that's exactly how I want it to be.
Okay. How did that feel?
That one felt like that's weird. That's a weird mind shift
Uh-huh.
of it, because it's instead of constantly staying in the negative and I feel like it's instead of putting the blame all on them, it's almost like becoming like a shared
Yeah.
ownership, and it's making me reflect, is there anything I'm not doing
Yeah. Yeah. That's the
to
work.
get this?
That's the work. So that's one bit of
Wow.
advice I would give, because what we're looking at, that doesn't fit all the time.
No.
And honestly, it's not said from a moral position. That tool is not a right or wrong tool. It's not a moral position. Like this space is just, we're just working, right? But what it does is that tool forces you to say, is there any agency that I have in this? Is there any area that I need to own it? Is there any area of growth? Is there any opportunity in that complaint for growth? So then we would coach around that and say, okay, what are 5 things you might be able to do to create an environment where your clients responded in a more appropriate time, even if it's irresponsible. And out of that, we'd mine that for some gold that you could hold on to and say, you know what? I with this one tool I could put in, or this one request, or this one document, I could have more ownership in that. No, I still can't control whether they return the edits or not, but I'm not completely helpless. And that's really empowering. And that's a tool we use. So I'd say, to answer your question, I'd say we really push ownership and then clarity of vision. Just really, we take everything through the funnel of specificity and say, when's the deadline? When do you want it back? Just some time. Okay, no, give me, when do you, like, looking at your metrics, look at your cash flow, like, when do you need to have it back? Ideally, after a project is, when do you need to have those edits back? I need to have back by a week and a half. Okay. So on each project, what would be a week and a half? Can you identify that? Will you commit to identifying each? And then with the new tools of ownership in implementing those and trying those out, see if they fit, ultimately creating a process that you like, I own this. And if they're late, I put everything in place for it not to be late.
Yeah.
And it feels really like that work feels really empowering. And that's something that we really lean into.
Yeah. I'll say it definitely worked right here. Just sitting here, I'm like, oh my goodness. You talk about the gold nuggets. That was definitely a gold nugget. So, I mean, I can't imagine what people get with the debt. Like that was like just surface level type, advice.
Yeah.
And already like making a change in like my way of thinking.
Well, just so you know, it wasn't advice. It was a tool.
It was a tool. There we go.
Yeah. So it was, what about this? What about this? I didn't say, you have to do it this way. You have to come out of it with this plan. No, it's like, this is a tool to be curious about. Like, what if?
Yeah.
Like it's a piece of equipment in the weight room. You use it, you don't use it. Not right or wrong, but what if?
Yeah.
And that's a fun work because you're lifting the weight, dude. Like you already have things circulating in your brain of, okay, what could I do if I'm curious about, I'm not helpless in this situation.
Yeah. I love how you say like a tool, like my mind flashed to like typical tool, right? Like,
Hmm.
okay, the hammer and nail didn't do it. Could a screw and a drill
Yep.
do it better? Can it hold it better? And I'm like just thinking like two pieces of wood, right? Because right, you can pry out
Yep.
that piece of wood, but it's like, is there another tool like can do it better? And what would make something stronger or give you a better foundation? And I know
Yeah.
my contractor people are probably like, foundation cement, it's not wood, whatever. I'm
Yeah. But I have a client who um, is highly successful, but wants more family time. And we were working, and they were like, man, it'd be great to be able to make more money, but we can't do that and have more family time. And I said, what if you could? What if you could both increase your gross income per month and have more family time? Would that thrill you? Yeah, but it's not possible. They are working a plan right now that they created that is both giving them more gross income per month and increasing their family time. And because they have the more gross income, they can hire a nanny. I mean, you say like, but they hadn't thought about these things. Like it's just it's this or that. No, what if there's other opportunities? What if we hold space that there may be other things we're not considering? I didn't come up with that plan. The plan they're working is their plan. But yeah, it's like, even with the foundation thing, I was like, okay, but what if there's another foundation? What if there's another way to do
yeah.
this? Like, what? And it's a really fun work. And I really do think it's God honoring because God wants us to imagine more.
Hmm.
And like God can say a lot of things. He can say yes. He can say no. He can say, are you crazy? But God never says I can't.
Yeah.
And I love walking that into the work I'm doing with companies. I mean, obviously the work of the church, that's part of our everyday existence. But for a lot of companies and executives, it's new for them to hear, what if? I didn't think about that.
Is there anything that you want to add? I know there's a lot of depth to
Yeah.
what goes into coaching, and maybe there's just something before we wrap up. I want to give you an opportunity. Maybe
Yeah.
there's a question I didn't ask. Maybe there's some information that you want to divulge. We'll get to the information. If you want to get in
Yeah.
contact with Arron, we'll get to that in just a second. But is there anything else that you'd like to share?
Yeah, you said something earlier, which we do, which you talked about how we talk to ourselves, and so there's a tool that I want to give you that can help how we talk to ourselves, and we call it a racket. And a racket is when what's on the sign doesn't match what's happening in the business. So it says it's a laundromat, but it's really a puppy mill, that kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
Well, we do the same kind of thing where we're saying things to ourselves that are not good, true, and beautiful, that are really a racket, and we run it because it's working for us, right? So, someone may run a racket of like, I can't sell more homes. Like I can't sell. I am not a person who can sell 40 homes a year. So what we do is we write that down as the racket. In the second line, we write, what are the associated behaviors and thoughts as you run that racket? If I was to follow you all day long and all day long, you're saying, I can't sell 40 homes. I can't sell 40 homes. I can't have, 30 clients for whom I'm doing production work. This is not going to happen. I can't maintain it. I can't. So if that was, let's just go with that. I can't find 30 new clients to do production work. What are the associated behaviors and thoughts with that? What can you just give me a couple, just like spitball a few? Like if you were walking around saying, I can't get 30 clients
Mm-hmm.
in the next quarter, right? What might be the associated thoughts and behaviors? Give me two.
I would say probably because like there's not enough time. That'd probably be like a thought, like I can't get 30 more clients because I don't have enough time.
So behavior wise, what would be your thought? I don't have enough time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what would be some other associated behavior? Think of this very specific behaviors. If you were living life, walking through life, like, I can't get 30 more clients.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to step out, step back. You're going to be brave, fearful. Like what might be another behavior?
That's a good question.
You're sitting at a coffee shop,
Uh-huh.
surrounded by entrepreneurs, men and women entrepreneurs,
Yeah.
and you're telling yourself, I can't get 30 more clients. Will you start conversations or will you not start conversations? Are you more prone to or not?
I probably wouldn't start conversations.
Okay. All right. And so what we do next is so if you're picturing it, we got the headline,
Mm-hmm.
the racket, And then we got a line of associated thoughts and behaviors. You can do this on a napkin.
Okay.
And then these are the next two columns are the payoff, are the where the really the needle moves. Okay, the left column, most of the clients don't like the left column, but it's to ownership. The left column, what are the payoffs? What are the payoffs to Clint sitting at a coffee shop thinking I can't get 30 more clients? How's that serving you? And this is where it's really hard to stay under the weight. But give me just one way it might serve you to be telling yourself, I got all the clients I can handle. I can't get any more clients.
Way that it can serve me by not getting 30 clients. That's
by telling yourself you can't get 30 clients.
By telling myself I can't get 30 clients.
We say things and we're saying it for a reason. Well, how might it be serving you?
I think it'd be kind of more of saying that it helps me with time with my family. So I guess better, like, it would serve me in that, like, okay, the time with my family, if I get 30 more clients, so if I don't get 30 more clients, I get to spend the time with my family that I do right now.
Okay. So the payoff is you get to tell yourself, I don't need more clients because it's giving more time with my family.
Yeah.
Okay. What might it cost you? That's the second column. What might it cost you to be running that racket?
Well, it would cost me growth in business, obviously. And it could also cost me sustainability.
Yeah.
I would think, because obviously, like, okay, I don't need any more clients.
Mm-hmm.
But then what happens if half of those clients fall off?
Yeah.
Well, now all of a sudden I don't have.
Yeah.
I don't have the income I need or have anymore. Yeah. And so now I've got to go out and get more clients.
Yeah. When it comes to vision, we can take a posture of either fear or love. And love says, what if I can get more clients? What's that number? And have more family time. What if I sat in that coffee shop, like one of the local coffee shops here in Greeley, we have some amazing ones, and you were like, I can do this and have more family time.
Yeah.
Like, I can do both. Now, there's give and take, but fear says, no, it's not going to happen. And so fear keeps you there drinking your coffee and not having those conversations. But what if today, everybody who's watching, and you included, were like, there's opportunity here. There's opportunity. And because I'm doing the work and I'm owning it, and because I have a very specific vision, and I'm willing to make commitments and walk with integrity, what if? Like, what if you could have between now and April 3 more ideal clients and keep the ones you have now and get an extra day with your kids? What if? And that's fun work. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I love that. So we have touched on a lot of great things. There's 2 great nuggets in this episode with the racket and just identifying the problems, the complaints that you may be facing, and then just having a different mind shift. And so we are, I don't like scratching. I'm not even gonna say scratching, because that implies multiple scratches. We have scratched the surface of this. And so if anyone wants to get in contact with you and do a full deep dive and just have amazing change in their life, in their business, how can they get in contact with you?
Yeah, they can. By the way, the tools I use are Novus Global tools. Those are tools we use all the time in our work. They can reach me at Arron Chambers, ARRON, 1A, 2 Rs, Arron Chambers at novus.global, or they can find me at arronchambers.com. Once again, ARRON chambers.com. And we set up a vision call. Those are free. And just see, I love talking vision and seeing if there's opportunity we could serve you, because I'm a part of a firm that has some amazing coaches.
Awesome. Great. So guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us today and just learning about coaching. And if you are needing a coach, we've got a great one right here in Northern Colorado. If you are listening nationally, you can still get in contact with him. He serves nationally as well. And if there's anything that you guys want us to touch on, have on the show, or have questions or comments for Arron, go ahead, leave them in the comments below. Again, we're making this show for the community and for everyone here in Northern Colorado. And so your comments and suggestions help us shape this to what is valuable for you guys. So Arron, thank you so much for being on.
Oh, it was an honor, Clint.
Sweet, man. Appreciate it.
Cool.
Dude, that was great.
Good?
Yeah. What was what were your thoughts of the show and question and all that stuff? And
great questions. And I love your enthusiasm and authenticity.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you. Appreciate
Yeah,
that.
everything is first class.
Well, appreciate it. Yeah, I'm hoping I'll get like a commercial space, but commercial spaces